All right, folks, today is Tuesday, April 12th, 2022, and it's time for the monthly rebalancing of the portfolio. So this is my $1 million portfolio, which is now down to 990,000 due to the last couple of days, really, of just really crazy volatility in the market. Some of the Fed members have come out to say that they may be a lot more aggressive in terms of raising rates to fight inflation, and I think that really spooked the market. But if you're buying and adding contribution to your portfolio, you should be cheering a market that's going down because it means that stocks are on sale and you are picking it up at a discount. So no need to fret. What I do here with the monthly buy-ins is almost like if you had, an IRA or 401k, and you're adding an amount to it every month and just doing the rebalancing via a new contribution. So the dollar amounts may be different than what you're doing, but the concept is still the same. So every month that I'm buying in, I'm adding about $30,000 from the cash portion of this account into my risk parity style portfolio. And 30,000 is probably a lot more than what people are actually contributing on a monthly basis, but you can scale that down. If you were in an IRA, maybe you're doing $300 a month. If you were in a 401k, maybe you're doing 3,000 if you had, voluntary after-tax contributions or whatnot. But it's more to illustrate the concept than anything else. So let's get at it. Once again, I'm very overweight on the REIT. So what I'm going to do is not buy that and basically take my 30,000 and allocate it between long-term bonds, the NASDAQ 100, and the gold portfolio. The way that I've constructed this, you can get some criticisms in terms of the NASDAQ 100 being a lot more volatile and that sometimes it has great years where it's outperforming, but then it could be a decade where it's terrible. And I get that, but I'm okay with that because I think that for me, this index will work for the large cap growth. You can certainly switch to another ETF that fills that role. And I may when I do like tax loss harvesting, but as of right now, I don't need to worry about it. I'm just going to stick with it. It's more important to actually just stick with whatever plan you have, even if it's not optimal, than to try to change things around. The other thing that I've talked about before is the long-term treasuries. With rates rising, the existing bond prices are going to go down. And you can see that's down 17% in the portfolio. But again, this is just part of the process, so you need to buy it. And at some point, things are going to turn around. For a long time, the gold portion of my portfolio was in the red, but now it's up almost 11%. So things are working the way they're supposed to, and it's supposed to help you with a more steady ride. So we're just going to get right on with it. So for the QQQ, I'm going to buy about $25,000 worth. So roughly 73 shares. This is a very active ETF, and I'm fine doing market order, reinvest dividends. So let's go ahead and review the order. Everything looks good. So let's go ahead and just place it. All right, moving on to TLT. On this one, I need to buy about $3,300, so it's going to be 27 shares. And the same thing, market, reinvest dividends, and we'll review. This looks to be what we want to do, so I am going to place the order. All right, order is placed, and we'll move on to the last portion, which is gold. So even though gold is up today by quite a bit, the strategy calls for us to buy into it, so I am going to do that. It's about $2,200, which is about 12 shares. This box doesn't really make a difference in terms of gold because gold does not pay a dividend. But we'll leave a check. It's out of habit, and we'll just go ahead and review. And that looks good, so let's place the order. All right, we place our order for gold. It's time to go back and take a look at what happens to the portfolio. So my REIT portion, 961 shares, that should not change. But the rest of this, gold should increase from 382, QQQ should increase from 603, and TLT should increase from 675. Let's refresh and take a look. And there we are. All of these have increased accordingly, and we've completed our contribution and using that new contribution to do the rebalancing. As you're watching me do this, just going through the process of it and mechanically doing it, I'm doing market orders, right? But the only reason I know I can do that is that these are very liquid issues. Sometimes if you have something that is less liquid, you're going to want to pay attention and do limit orders, but we won't go into depth about that. In terms of how you figure out how to do the buy-ins, you can manually do it, or you can use the tool that I talked about in one of my other videos, which is how to balance your portfolio. So the tool works in Excel, and it also works in Google Sheets. You basically fill out what you're holding. It'll calculate the current value, and then you just add to it how much you want to contribute, and it'll tell you what you should buy and sell. All right, that's pretty much it for this month. Hopefully, I said this last month, but hopefully when we check back in, we'll be above that $1 million mark. But regardless of what happens, you should ignore it. It's noise. Just keep to your plan and do what you're doing, and you'll come out on top. All right, thank you for watching, and keep watching those videos. See ya.